What's up? What's good? It's your boy Carcino here. Let's talk about it. What's up, Patreons? Y'all the first ones to see this. This video was supposed to be made right before the pandemic hit. Okay, somebody just sent me something. Seemed like it's important. But importantly, this video was supposed to be made back in before the pandemic hit. Yep. So we're talking about 2 years ago. And I want to say January, yep. It was January of 2020, I believe. And then I just came back from the funeral. My cousin died. You guys know about that. And then right after that, Kobe ended up passing away suddenly. And this video was the video I was going to make. I was already collecting the things that I was going to do to make this video. And I didn't get a chance to do it. That hit like a bomb. And I mean, that was the saddest day ever. Like, it was more of a shock than anything. I was making a video as it was going on. Like, it wasn't really televised. And I had the video just like, man, I'm making it. Because I'm thinking I'm late to the news. Because to me, this is earth shattering. And I'm thinking I'm late to the news. And I'm like, I've checked it. And I can't believe, like, this is real. Like, just took me away. So I was in no condition to make this video. And never was going to make it after that. I'm just like, it's not time to talk about that. And then Jeremy Lin came out and actually spoke about it when he was making no plans to ever speak on it. Because he feared, one, it would ruin his chances to get into the league. But to get back on the team and everything else because of what we're about to discuss. Now, here's the crazy story, right? So the Patreons, you're the first ones to listen. Because Patreon was actually created the week I was going to make this video. So Patreon was created actually that week. So that's another nugget for you, but here we go. No, not the actual Patreon, my Carcino for Life Patreon. Okay. Now, Jeremy Lin came to the New York Knicks and all hell broke loose. I mean, all hell broke loose when he came to the New York Knicks. Carmelo was hurt. And Shump and the rest of those guys, they started to ball out. They were playing well. They were running the floor. They had energy, and it wasn't Melo's fault. Like, people think Melo and Jeremy Lin had a problem. They really didn't. It was just the style of play the coach wanted to run. He wanted to change things to more of a of a like systematic offense, and it's not the style that fits Melo's game. So it was just throwing everything off. But Jeremy Lin had took over New York, and in just like 1 year, he's forgotten about and traded to the Houston Rockets. And it was like, well, it was either you move Melo or you move Jeremy Lin. That's the way that they brought the scenario to be. One of the other ones got to go. Now, Shumpert wasn't smoked out of his mind back then. It was playing well when he was with the Knicks. And then it was Linsanity, Jeremy for the Lin. It's Linning time. The Knicks had never been that excited in years. And to beat the Lakers is huge. And to think like without Melo, you playing the Lakers, you wouldn't even think they had a shot. They went in there and treated that like a playoff game because Jeremy Lin had just took over the league. And they interviewed Kobe Bryant, and he gave the sound bite of all sound bites. It's like, I don't know who this guy is. Like, I don't know what he's done. Like, literally, he just like, I don't know what this guy has done. I really don't. Like, who is this guy? So that just made a big thing, like, and Jeremy Lin's like, wow, that was an insult to him. But here's a guy who was sleeping on his friend's couch, and he had been cut by 2 NBA teams, and he gets picked up by the Knicks and finds a home. Now it's Linsanity, and he just goes off, has the game of all games in the Garden against Kobe Bryant. Everybody's raving about it. They jumping up for joy. Everybody's screaming because it's going down and people are pumped, slapping fists with each other. They're happy. And Kobe was like, I just hope he, keeps going and finds his way, and things of that nature. So they go their separate ways. And someone asked him, and he knew after that game, someone was going to ask him, do you think Kobe knows you now? And he's like, he was going to say, who's Kobe? Like, who is Kobe Bryant? Just to try to be funny. But he said, nah. He just said, well, that's something you need to ask Kobe. Not me. Ask him, do he know me now? Now, you can have success on anybody on one given night. Jeremy Lin's not going to go in the Hall of Fame. But that moment, in that day, he can say he outbested Kobe in that game. So he can always have that. Kobe tears his Achilles that season. So he's out for the remainder of the year, the next year. Jeremy Lin and the Knicks cannot come up with a compromise with Carmelo, so he goes to Houston. The Lakers are the Lakers. They need a splash. They need something to get people excited because Kobe's not going to be playing. So if Kobe come back, we need to have something there to get him going because Kobe's missed the whole season and everyone thinks his career is done from this Achilles injury. We got to have something for Kobe, to look forward to. And we got a splash. We got Jeremy Lin. Now Lakers got Linsanity. So now they can brought in Jeremy Lin to play with Kobe. So he can learn from Kobe. And he's coming in like, all right, I'm going to learn from Kobe. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be that. And Kobe's trying to come in, and he's been killing himself around the clock, trying to get back to being Kobe, being Bryant, the Black Mamba. He wants to get back to being the Mamba. And he had flashes. But the process and the struggle was a lot harder. And you could see him really pushing it. And Jeremy Lin was starting. And they weren't in the same form of offense. Kobe is more ISO. one-on-one than ball movement. Jeremy Lin is more, let's swing the ball here, and he runs all the way. Kobe ain't finna run all the way around the court no more. He's gonna say, give me the ball right here. I'm finna go one-on-one ISO, and I'm finna post up, turn around and hit this jump shot, or I'm gonna create something. You guys get open. He had gotten to that point in that stage, and Jeremy Lin is like a young kid that's ready to run. He's like, look, the team is ready to run. Like we want to get out in the open and do all these things. So in practice, Kobe comes in. He's like imperiously ways. He's trying to see what team he has because they're losing games early in the season. So Kobe comes in and it's this big argument with the team because he's calling them all bums. Like, you guys are bums. You guys are so soft. And Nick Young is out there, and Nick is not backing down. Like, I ain't no punk. Like, and they in there arguing and all this. Then Kobe's like, look, man, y'all, I don't need this. I don't need to practice with y'all. Like, I don't need this, Mitch. And he tells Mick Kupchak, who comes down there to watch out practicing, going like, Mitch, I don't need this. I don't need this. These guys are bums. So they were just taking it. Like, Jeremy Lin just couldn't believe that this was the Kobe Bryant that he looked up to. Like, this is the Kobe Bryant. I'm supposed to be learning from this guy. And this guy every day is telling me, come on. You too slow. Come on. Where's that Linsanity? Where's that at? You left that in New York? Let's go. Push it. Let's go. I want to see the Linsanity. So they're in practice. Kobe is hitting him with elbows, everything. And Jeremy Lin had like checked himself out because he caught him real good with a shot to the side. He's like, hey, this is practice, man. This is shoot around. I want to be able to play tonight. And he was like, not playing the way you playing like a bum. It's like, man, you so slow, man. I can steal the ball every time from you. So they play the game. Kobe basically fouls him and steals the ball, and he called it a foul. He's like, you gonna call that a foul? You think they're gonna give you that call in the game? No, you got to get tougher with the ball. You got to defend. Kobe was trying tough love to strengthening him so he could be able to feel like, I can trust you out there. That's the reaction he was trying to get out of Jeremy Lin. Jeremy Lin was taking it in a whole different way. And nothing was more evident than after a game, and Jeremy Lin was like 0 for 10. 0 points. Kobe was pissed because Kobe right knee is killing him. He had to get a painkiller shot in his knee just so he could play. And you go out and go 0 for 10. So Jeremy Lin talks about the time they had the text message conversation when he says he's up watching film to see where the problem is, and this is what the problem was. The reason why he was text because he told Coach Scott, and this is what Jeremy Lin seems to omit. He complained to the assistant coaches, the coaches that was helping out with Byron Scott, his staff rather, and told him like, this is what the problem is. He said, we need to be moving the ball more. Guys got to touch the ball. They're not getting touches because once it gets to Kobe's hands, he's not really passing it back to anybody else. And the guys will end up standing around. So Byron talked to Kobe and said, yeah, well, they scared to talk to you. Like, that's just it. They only talk to you once you engage with them. Other than that, they scared to speak to you. So they saying they want you to swing the ball and move it more. And he was like, okay. He got Jeremy Lin's number from Byron Scott. He said, give me his number. I'm going to text him tonight. And it was like 3 in the morning, 1 and 2 in the morning. Kobe's wide awake. He's texting Jeremy Lin. And on like, don't be a punk. Like, come to me. If you got a problem, come to me. Here's what I don't like about you. If you come in like a punk, I will run all over you. You back down, I'm not going to trust you, because if I could see through you, the other team can see through you. You soft. And that's why I don't like you. Now, you could fix that because you can get better. You could choose to get better. You could choose to get tougher, because the other team is not going to care. They're going to use that to their advantage, and you're going to hurt the team. So if you're hurting the team, then you're hurting me. Said, we got enough bums that come and go through this team every year. Are you going to be a player, or are you going to be a bum? It's basically what he was telling them. And Jeremy Lin starts going with this, I want to learn from you. I know you're a great player. You've been great all these years and this and that, but I am a man. I'm not a little boy, and I don't appreciate the way you talk to me. If you want to respectfully have a conversation with me, do it as from a man's point of view, and not from a bully. I stand up to bullies, and you're a bully, and I don't like to be bullied. And Kobe was like, you are soft as shit. So they began to cuss each other out. I mean, he cussed him out, and he said some curse words back, uh, like on through text, and it got heated. And after that, Kobe had a little bit. He's like, man, I'm really surprised. Nobody else would have really talked to me like that, like you just did. Surprised. So they get back into practice. Kobe don't speak to Jeremy Lin. He doesn't say one word to him the entire day. He's done talking to him. So Jeremy Lin's like, oh man, this is like serious. He's thinking, man, I think they're gonna probably trade me or something. So Kobe doesn't talk to him except for when it's time for the game. They practice, they do everything. Kobe's not talking to him. And the rest of the team can see that he's not talking to him, like purposely not talking to Jeremy Lin. And the other team's like, oh man, dude, what did you do? You must have really screwed up somewhere. Like, I don't know what you did, but it was bad. That's how they looking at it. Because they're like, if he's in this mode, we're in trouble. So after the game was over, Byron Scott calls Jeremy Lin to the office and told him, we're going to be making some changes in the offense. He said, I think our problem is we're not getting enough kick off the bench. And I think it'd be a good idea for you to get the bench going, so I want you to start for the bench. Start coming off and being the sixth man off the bench so we can have a good punch coming off there. And he's like, so what you think about that? And he was like, what I think about it? He's like, geez. He's like, who told you to do that? Was it Kobe? He automatically assumed it was Kobe Bryant that told him, hey, move this guy over here. So Byron Scott acted like he didn't know anything about the call, which he knew everything about the call. So Jeremy Lin was moved to the bench. Kobe had a knee injury, so he kind of sat out for a couple of games, didn't play. Sat out about a week, came back. So Jeremy Lin was still coming off the bench while he was there. Kobe wasn't even at the game, and it's just the attitude of the team and some of the players was rallying with how, because they were young and Kobe was the veteran and he led with iron fist. He wasn't with all this celebratory things just for winning a regular season game and just getting wild like that. It was just, he's all about, celebrating, but he was trying to teach them how to be champions and teach them, what it take to be at that level. Because that's where he's trying to get them to be. Right now, they're just having fun being in the league, and Kobe was turning it into boot camp because he was trying to get himself back going, but he wasn't to also know he had guys that was riding with him. So Kobe was having rotator cuff surgery on his shooting arm. His body was breaking down, and he had successful surgery on his shoulder. And Jeremy Lin is sitting there hearing about how Kobe's going to be out for the remainder of the season. The Lakers like, we're just going to shut it down, and that's that. So Jeremy's thinking like, okay, now I can shine. Like Kobe's not here. We get to run the offense we want to run. Let's go ahead and let's show these guys what we could do. Oh, there was not going to be we're going to show them what we can do. This was that's it. Show's over. It's done. As Jeremy Lin would not be with the Los Angeles Lakers the very next year. He was gone. So they told Kobe in the offseason, Jeremy Lin will be gone. So you don't have to worry about him being on the team anymore. And, we're sorry. We should have given you players. You're a veteran and shouldn't have to be trying to going through building up young guys at this point in your career. We should let you have one more swing at it. But, we apologize for not being able at this time to put you in position to go for, a championship, you know. So they apologized for all that went down. Dr. Buzz passed, and the decisions were a lot different after he had passed away. So actions were taken and steps were made. So they said, well, tell us if there's any team you want to go to, Kobe, right now that's winning. Like they told him, like, you can go to any team you want. We can get you there. If you want a chance to go for another championship on another team, just let us know and we'll get you on that team. And he said, nah, I'm gonna go out of Laker. And that was a big heartfelt moment because he had just had surgery. So he came back and played for the Lakers. Kobe went out and tried to give it everything he had, as he's done every year of his playing career. But that's what happened with him and Jeremy Lin. They saw each other on the court. Jeremy Lin, I believe, was playing with the Raptors, and he saw Kobe, and Kobe was on the court. I think it was like Kobe's last season. And they spoke for the first time on the court. They spoke. It was the first time ever, and it was like Kobe wasn't mad at him or anything. He just spoke to him. It was like, man, he said, I see you're growing up a little bit. He said, I see you growing up a little bit now. You're a little tougher now than you was when you was with us. And he was like, well, I guess I got you to thank for that. And it was fun banter between the two. But it was like what Jeremy Lin needed to hear. It was like a weight lifted off his shoulder. So I felt he needed to hear that. And it was like Kobe in his last year was totally changed. He was no longer the warrior out trying to take everybody's head off. He was more at peace with like his exit. Like this is gonna be his exit. He's having fun out there on the court. And that was the glow. He liked to see the progression of other players. And it shocked people. They were like, I've never seen this Kobe before. Like I've been seeing the Kobe that was trying to annihilate people every night. This is a Kobe here that's like the grandpa. He's like proud of everybody. He's proud of everybody on the other team. He's seeing like Steph Curry get tough and fight him back on picks and push him off, and he liked it. He liked all of it. And that just shows you the appreciation and the love he had for the game. The physicality is a part of the game. Now everything is I call it the passive aggressive basketball. But that was a necessity of who he was. It was a passion that he played for it, and that's why some of these players now they don't have it. You get players complaining about diving for basketballs. Like, that's an unnecessary play. It's early in the game. It's uncalled for to dive for the ball right now. Dennis Rodman could be up 35 points. Dennis Rodman would be jumping in the stands trying to get that damn ball. And they up 35. Why? Because that's who he is. Every play, he played hard. Solomon Hill rolled up LeBron's ankle. He was diving to get the ball. Playing hard. Wasn't a dirty play at all. He was hustling to get the ball. If LeBron wasn't standing around and he dove to go get the ball, he wouldn't be hurt. They both would have dove for the ball, and his ankle would have been protected. Now, you're seeing players getting paid so much money now, they feel like, well, it's a business decision. I got to make. Should I dive right here, hurt myself, and not get paid? And they don't play like they have the passion of winning and losing. They playing like, where's my bag? And that's what the game has turned into. Where's my bag? I don't want to mess up my bag. And can't help but think that's the LeBron era. He brought that pamperedness to the league. But anyway, I took up enough of your time. I just wanted to let y'all know what was what. Don't forget the Patreons. Love, peace, and hair grease. Everybody else, make sure you donate to the Cash App. Like the video, subscribe to the video, and if you're not a member of the Carcino for Life Patreon, you get to hear stories like this and other things on the Patreon, so make sure you are a member over there, and we're out.